Welcome back, and in our sports news, Czech 8th seed Petra Kvitova kept her nerve to outgun and outplay favourite Maria Sharapova of Russia and win the Wimbledon singles title for the first time with a convincing 6-3, 6-4 victory on Saturday. The 21-year-old, who had not won a match on grass until last year, served consistently and maintained a barrage of powerful attacking ground strokes to become only the third left-hander to win the women's title after Ann Jones and Martina Navratilova. Sharapova had reached the final without dropping a set, but served raggedly. Kvitova said afterwards that she had not expected to feel so calm and concentrated, while Sharapova looked on the positive side.
I was surprised how I was feeling on the court, because I was focused only on the point and on the game and not on the final of Wimbledon. So I'm so happy for that.
Well, besides the fact that I lost, I think this is a big step for me, being here in the final. I feel like I'm improving this year, and that gives me a tremendous amount of confidence for the rest of the year. And considering that I hadn't been past the fourth round in a few years, this gives me a lot of confidence.
Vladimir Klitschko beats Britain's David Hay on a unanimous points decision on Saturday to add the WBA heavyweight title to his 3 other belts and complete his family's domination of the division. The Ukrainian, whose lighter and smaller opponent took him the full 12 rounds despite fighting with a broken toe, was declared the winner 117 to 109, 118 to 108 and 116 to 110 by the judges. Klitschko, 30 pounds heavier and with a longer reach, landed far more blows than Hay, dictating the early rounds and using his weight and height to push Hay to the floor repeatedly. The 30-year-old Briton, now 25 for 2 after his first defeat in 7 years, explained afterwards that his loss had been more to do with the secret injury that he was carrying.
A majority of the reason, and I hate when boxers make excuses after fights, it makes me sick, but I broke my toe 3 weeks ago, and there was no way I was going to pull out of this fight. He fought great, he hit me with some great shots, he didn't knock me down. The knockdown that was scored a knockdown. I think everybody except the referee could see that was just a push, but it's one of those things. I'm gutted that I wasn't able to do what I needed to do out there.
I was really thinking that I'm going to celebrate my 50th knockout today, not just the unification. I have to give respect to David Hay for his boxing skills. He has been alert for all 12 rounds. I have been expecting that's what is usually happening to the guys after certain jabs and the rounds. They're getting kind of sleepy a little bit and slowing down.
In golf, American Nick Watney fired a course record 8 under 62 to grab a share of the third-round lead with Ricky Fowler at the AT&T National at Aronimink on Saturday. After stumbling into the turn with bogeys on 8 and 9, Watney caught fire and carded 6 birdies, plus an eagle at the par 5 16th. Fowler also had a sizzling afternoon and returned a 6 under 64 to join Watney on 9 under 201 for the tournament. Lurking one shot back is 36-hole leader K-Jake Choi of South Korea, who rolled in a 30-foot birdie putt at the 18th for a 1 under 69. Meanwhile, England's James Morrison and Mark Foster shared the lead on 9 under 204 after the third round of the French Open on Saturday. Martin Kamer of Germany had the shot of the day, however, setting up an eagle at the 14th. He started the third round 8 shots off the lead, but finished it on 67 and 6 under 207 for joint fourth. Morrison had a 1-shot overnight advantage, but double bogeyed at the second hole. He went out in 38 and came back in 34, hitting 4 birdies, a double bogey at the 17th and a bogey at the last. In motor racing, World Championship leader Casey Stoner took pole position for the Italian MotoGP in qualifying on Saturday. The Australian, riding a Honda, clocked 1 minute 48.034 seconds with his final lap of practice at the Mugello circuit. American Ben Spies and Italian Marco Simoncelli will compete the front row for Sunday's race. World champion Jorge Lorenzo was the 5th fastest. Marc Marquez, the 125cc world champion, set a fast lap of 2 minutes 05.312 as he took the pole in the Moto2. He finished 0.585 seconds ahead of Alex De Angeli of the JIR Moto2 team and Tech3 Racing's Smith by 1 minute 305 seconds.
I couldn't really get the bike to work well, so we came in and we changed something on the second bike from this morning. We weren't too happy with it this morning, but this afternoon we changed something and went back out there with a hard front and managed to go quite a lot faster, you know, with a lot less effort than we did with the other bikes, so we're really happy.
Alberto Contador started his Tour de France title defence by losing 1 minute 20 seconds to the other favourites after being held back by a crash 9 kilometres from the finish of the 191.5 kilometre first stage on Saturday. The stage win and the first leader's yellow jersey went to Belgian champion Philippe Gilbert, who surged ahead in the last 400 metres to snatch his 13th victory of the season. Gilbert beat the last 2 road world champions, Australian Cadel Evans, who finished 3 seconds adrift, and Norway's Thor Hushovd, who came home 6 seconds behind. And on a different note, fireworks over the harbour in Monte Carlo brought to a close the wedding of Monaco's ruler, Prince Albert, and South African swimmer Charlene Whitstock on Saturday. The 53-year-old married Whitstock, 33, in the courtyard of his palace at a ceremony that was attended by a who's who of European royalty and the international elite, including French President Nicolas Sarkozy and Chanel designer Karl Lagerfeld, while some 3,500 guests sat outside to watch the service on giant TV screens. The wedding is the first of a ruling prince in Monaco since Albert's father, Prince Rainier III, married Hollywood star Grace Kelly in 1956. At the official dinner, Prince Albert of Monaco paid tribute to his bride.
As Robert Frost says, when he, in his wonderful poem, The Road Not Taken, when he ends this poem in saying that 2 roads diverged into a wood. And I took the path less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. Well, Charlene, thank you for being on that less traveled path. And that has enabled me to meet you and to share my life with you.
And finally this evening, tourists and devotees across the world assembled in India's eastern Orissa state to observe the annual chariot festival of Lord Jagannath. Millions poured into the Puri district to get a glimpse of Lord Jagannath, Lord Balabhadra, and a Hindu god, and Devi Subhadra, a Hindu goddess, who come out of their abode once a year between June and July. A sea of devotees hand-pulled brightly decorated chariots carrying idols of the deities during the 9-day annual Rath Yatra or chariot journey. The Jagannath temple, about 60 kilometres from the state capital, Bhubaneswar, is one of the holiest places for Hindus in India.
The most important part of the year, where every year the whole year actually we wait for this particular month and this Rath Yatra, where we desire, from this year we desire for the next Rath Yatra, that we should come for the next Rath Yatra. And Lord Jagannath is a Lord of the universe, so it's really a great fortune to come here and take his darshan in such a personal way.
And with that, let's take a look at the local and international weather forecast for tomorrow. And before we head out, here are the top stories again. Ruler of Dubai visits Farjam collection. Government entities approve plan to collect greenhouse gas emissions data. Oil spills into Montana's Yellowstone River. And DO pays off 3 billion dirham loan. Well, that brings us to the end of the bulletin. As always, we'd love to hear your comments. You can contact us by writing to news@city7tv.com or by calling us on 04 367 2230. From the entire news team, it's goodbye for now.